What's up guys, Elfis here, and today we're going to be doing the first episode of our replay analysis series. And this replay was sent to us by Flubbens. I couldn't think of his name for a second, sorry. Flubbens here, who, actually, I'll tell you who he's going to play when we go over team composition. So Flubbens here sent, well, I watched the late half of this game, the last 10 minutes, I guess, or so. I know it's not half of it, but you know what I mean. The last 10 minutes or so, and it is quite the action-packed game, so I thought I should cover it. And well, I wanted to cover it, rather. I thought I should. But so Flubbens here, he didn't actually say I could analyze it, so sorry, Flubbens, if you didn't want me to do that. But I'm gonna anyways. So sorry if you did not want to. I'll try and go a little easy on you. I'm not just going to be specifically focusing on him. I'm going to be analyzing everybody in the game, for that matter, as much as I can. And with that being said, we're gonna jump into team composition. And I've already watched this game twice now because I just recorded it. I recorded this replay analysis a minute ago, and I had got all the way through, and then found out that my mic volume was too high, and it sounded like crap. So this is our second time recording this, so I'm sure you can already tell how frustrated I am with that, but that was my own mistake, so we'll see if we can make this one a little bit better, I guess. It just gives me that much more knowledge of the game, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. This guy here, Fast Picks Arachna. First of all, before we even get into this game, I want to mention that this pink, this blue, and this orange are all very incompetent, as well as this guy ends up like going what appears to be AFK for part of the game. So that's all I'm going to say. So this is a 1400 casual mode game, FYI. So I'm not exactly expecting experts. And actually, the first time I watched this and recorded this, I was quite surprised with how good Flubbens played, especially in comparison to everybody else, but just in general how good he played. So FYI, for team composition wise, when you're picking teams, don't ever just pick a hero. Highlight him. There's no reason to just pick somebody. All four of these guys just picked who they wanted to play. And they're like, whatever, I want to play Hag. I'm going to pick Hag, and then I'm going to ready up. No, don't do that. You highlight your heroes so your team can make an actual team composition. You don't just pick heroes. Okay, that's not how teams work. That's how individuals work. It's a team game. You need to play as a team. So don't just pick. Highlight your hero. There's no reason to not just highlight your hero. I don't see the reasoning behind that. You think somebody's gonna pick your hero? There's no reasoning in doing that. Okay, just highlight it. Show your team who you're gonna pick. All right, don't just pick somebody. Okay, so. Real quick, I want to go over team composition-wise. This team composition is horrible. Absolutely horrible. They don't have a single support. They have three really tanky guys. I would consider both of these guys carries. Rampage is kind of like a semi-carry, but still, they're both carries. You know, Hag can even be a carry as well. So, 3 carries, 2 tanks, and even Ra can carry, and, you know, Amun-Ra can carry. It's like they're very terrible team composition. I'll go over starting items in a minute after I finish team composition. This team, not much better, all right? We have 2 carries, debatably 3 if you want to count Solstice, although I think he's more of like a semi-carry jungler kind of hero. I wouldn't really consider him a hard carry, although he can carry. And actually, Flubbens does play him as such in this game, which I'm not by any means against. And Ravener, who again I guess could be considered a carry as well, although this Ravener quite incompetent. He doesn't carry. He doesn't really do anything. He feeds actually. It's a spoiler alert. They both feed. And Martyr here as well, support, that's nice to have on the team. Unfortunately, though, this guy doesn't play support Martyr. He builds very odd items throughout the game, as well as doesn't buy a single ward anywhere in the game. Pretty poor positioning all game. I mean, I'll go over it as we get to it, but just so you have something to look forward to, this guy, don't expect him to do any supporting. He doesn't do that. Alright, so starting item-wise, Martyr, poor starting items. You didn't get any wards, you didn't upgrade Courier, you're not doing your job. You're very bad starting items, okay? Now, with that being said, starting items-wise, you're not doing your job, but I'm not... You could have picked worse, let's say that. You could have picked worse starting items, alright? For example, Valkyrie right here. This is about as bad starting items as you can get. a completed Soul Scream ring or any of the 3 completed items. Very stupid. You know, the 3 that I'm talking about. There's an Amulet of an Exile and a Fortified Bracelet as well. Fortified Bracer. All of which are poor. Don't start with those completed. There's no reason to. You can get better stats for your money by starting with something else, and then, you know, you can just complete it later on. Some people, like, complete the Amulet of Exile. You're like, oh, I'm going, you know, Ring of the Sorcerer. Well, okay, just get it later, though. You can complete it later. You don't have to do it right away, all right? There's no real benefit to it. Do the numbers. You actually, even the money that you lose by, like, you could get, like, 6 totems and, like, sell some. I mean, I wouldn't get 6 totems because you're not going to get the regen you need and stuff, but just an example, you get 6 totems and sell them, and, you know, to buy your Ring of the, your talisman, your Amulet of the Exile, and you still don't really lose that much gold for the stat bonuses that you get early on, and it's actually worth it, so do that. Starting items from Flubbens, great. I love them. 2 shields should always be your starting items on Solstice if you're going to jungle, which you should. And then some regen. If you're going to jungle, I actually like health potions instead of Runes of Blight because they heal more, but they do delay your jungle ever so slightly. So, I mean, it's all about perspective, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure if you actually punch the numbers, it could go either way depending on who you talk to. Magebane starting items, fine, they're perfect, nothing against them. Ravners, sure, I guess. I don't play Ravner all that much, I don't particularly think those are anything exceptional starting items, but you're about to die. Yep, dead. First blood. And Armadon's definitely getting away. I don't know why you're still chasing him. You don't have any boots. Cool, you didn't even know where he was going, so... Alrighty, other than that, let's see, starting items for him, very bad. Starting items from Arachna, boots. There's no reason to start boots on Arachna. There's no reason to start boots on anybody with the exception of Swiftblade. And that's only if you're going to be playing a really aggressive Swiftblade early on. Otherwise, don't get boots. There's no reason to. There's never any reason to, so don't do that. If I see anybody getting boots, I hate you, okay? So be well aware that I hate you if you get boots first. On any hero except Swiftblade, and that's only if you're going to be playing very aggressive. Rampage, you should have gotten a hatchet. There's no reason to get 2 shields. There's absolutely no reason for that. But fine. Hag, your starting items were okay. She actually has boots. She didn't buy boots at the start. She's got boots since, so decent starting items. Ra, I would have gotten regen instead of this, especially since I know Ra's build. He doesn't even build a Shaman's Headdress, although the idea behind getting this first is that you are going to build a Shaman's Headdress. He doesn't even get one, so I don't understand getting this at all. But nonetheless, it's fine. It's whatever, I guess. You should have gotten more regen, but whatever. And Armadon, I liked your items to start. Okay, Armadon has since run out of mana because they got those kills early on. You'll find that this top lane, when you put 2 of the worst players on your... Probably, no, let me phrase that. The 2 worst players on your team in a lane together, they tend to not do so well. Go figure. And so these 2 tend to lose this lane very badly. But other than that, lane composition-wise, these 2 heroes in a lane isn't necessarily bad. You would probably want this, you know, your support to go with your carry, but again, he's not even playing support, so I don't even know what to say, really. Other than that, Valkyrie soloing bot, there's nothing wrong with that. It appears as though Flubbens here is here to gank. I don't know if you should be ganking yet. You're still a little bit low in levels, but it's not necessarily a bad idea, especially since the lane's pushed up this far, that you shouldn't be ganking. You should be pulling, actually. I don't think I've seen you pull, which you should be doing. And that's an example of a time where you've wasted time and you should be farming, which I'll comment on a couple times now throughout the game, and I'll try and do it for everybody, not just for you. Alright, Valkyrie here, auto-attacking a little bit, not a good idea. Missing last hits when she doesn't really get that many of them, considering how far she's behind anyways. Well, not behind, but like considering, you know, how aggressive this lane is, you can't really go that far up as Valkyrie. Power supply completed on Martyr, that's perfect, I love it. Your support, you should be getting power supply. Let's see, lane composition, that's right. So, Arachna, Rampage, kind of a weird lane, but I mean, they have a terrible team composition to begin with, so I guess it's fine. Out of their team composition, that's fine. I would have sent Hag mid. I'm not sure why they didn't. You could have sent Hag mid, and then sent Arachna, Rampage, and then Ra, Armadon. That's a great combo. Ra, Armadon works out fine. Or even Ra, or even Armadon, Rampage, or Armadon, Arachna, and then send the other 2, and it's still fine. It's totally okay. So I don't really understand the need to send Ra mid. It seems a little odd. Hag would have been... Well, the fact that this Hag isn't really all the best kind of has something to do with it, but neither is this Ra, so... you know, that may have a factor into it, but, I mean, Hag is a better mid hero than Ra. So let's just get that out in the open. Other than that, we're going to be keeping an eye on creep score. So first of all, I just want to mention, I told you they were terrible players at the beginning, but you can see that quite clearly. They did get a kill, congrats, but you can see it quite clearly how poor they are by their creep score. If you look, 2 last hits on Ravner and 5 on Martyr, and the worst dive in history. I mean, you got the kill, but I mean, as Breaky CPK would say, but at what cost, you know? I mean, it's like, and you're auto-attacking Ravner, so that tells me you're very bad to begin with. If you auto-attack, I hate you, okay? So don't do that. Don't auto-attack. There's absolutely no reason to unless you're, like, pushing the lane or something. And even then, you should still be, like, getting the last hit. But so, 2 last hits on Ravner, 5 on Martyr. That's absolutely pitiful. Magebane has 9. He's losing to Ra's 15. Ra's been using his skills to nuke these waves, though, so I guess it's kind of understandable. Oops, I missed a gank down here. They killed Rampage, apparently, and Ra's about to kill this Valkyrie. Yep, had she dodged that stun, she would have been okay, but she didn't. So she's dead. Either way, though, nice job ganking. I think you should have pulled the lane, pulled the creeps before you, like, stacked and pulled so that the lane was further up before you did that, but that's fine either way. Let's see, GPM-wise, yeah, I mentioned this in the first replay analysis. Your team is so very far behind, okay? So very far behind. You have 4 of your members. I'm going to count Martyr, even though he's slightly over. I'm just going to count him because he's slightly over. He does drop back down. 4 of your members are 200 or lower for GPM per minute. That is pitiful. Very, very pitiful. 200 or lower is very bad. This is an example of a time where you should probably be very poor arrow, where you should have been farming instead of ganking. Had she hit that arrow, you actually would have killed her, but she didn't. And now she's dead because she died. Or should I say dove? I think that's the correct word. But, so, let's see. GPM-wise, your team's pretty pitiful. You are actually the best on your team, and you do end up finishing quite well on your team. Your GPM picks up quite significantly here in a minute. The enemy team, look at this. Couple over 300, 1 below because Rampage is trash. And, you know, they should be higher than this considering the lead they've had. If you look at the creep score-wise, they aren't really taking advantage of the fact that your lanes are doing pretty poorly and they have basically free farm. I mean, at 8 minutes, they should have more than 20 creep kills. That's all I'm trying to say. You have 23, which is decent top in the game. Considering their jungle creep kills, they aren't really worth the same, you know what I mean? So, like, each one of these, this counts 5 creep kills. It's not really the same as 5 creeps, though, but still, I think you get the point. So you're doing decently. You're keeping up in levels, which is totally fine. You're keeping up in farm, kind of. Your GPM should be a little bit higher because you've wasted a little bit of time doing 1 or 2 failed ganks and not necessarily doing what you should have been doing, but it's totally fine. No harm, no foul, you know? It appears as though Martyr wants to no, I don't know what he's doing. He can't kill these jungle creep camp, especially not by tanking them. He might have been able to do it by, like, kiting. I don't know what he's doing. He's about to die is what he's doing. I don't get this. Okay, man, you're dead now. I don't understand this Martyr. I don't understand this Martyr. I don't understand this Ravner. I don't understand this Arachna at any point in this game. They're all pretty odd. I don't really get it. But whatever. Magebane with a bottle. I wouldn't have gotten a bottle on him, but I mean, if you're solo mid, I don't really hate a bottle on any hero, really. I mean, there are obviously some exceptions, but I mean, like, you're solo mid, so a bottle's not bad. Ra guessed the wrong way, so he should be leaving here in a minute. Yep. 3 health potions, that's odd, you don't need that. Hag completing, I like the boots. Boots are a good choice. Let's see, Armadon. Nice, Ghost Marcher's fine. Health tube working towards that, Helm of the Black Legion, totally fine. Let's see, your team's items. So you completed this shield. I'm not gonna harp on it too much because I don't jungle Solstice all that often, okay? And actually, I watched this the first time around, and the Magebane actually went after Arachna instead of helping you, which he should have decided to help you by killing that spider. It would have been much more useful. But that's okay. For those of you who don't know, since obviously none of you watched it like I did, but Arachna ulted him, and then Magebane attacked Arachna instead of killing the spider, and he actually dove on her instead of killing the spider. But so, you completed this shield of the Iron Shield. I'm not sure if that's such a great idea. I personally don't really like Iron Shield on pretty much a lot of heroes. I don't think it's a terrible item, but I certainly don't like it. I would not have done it. But, again, I don't jungle Solstice all that often. Maybe it's really nice to have. I'm not sure. So what I do want to mention, if you look around the map, no matter where you look, you don't see a single Legion ward. And the reason for that being because Martyr is not supporting. And at this point, I would say, I don't want to say that you should buy wards, but somebody should be buying wards, okay? Wards are so key. You need to teleport out, okay? Or auto attack and die. That works too. To each their own, I guess. So let's see. Let's go over items again. Soul Scream Ring, that's the same one still. Okay. Blood Child's completed on Martyr, that's fine. Ravener, Fortified Bracers, I guess. He actually builds a little bit weird. He builds a Fortified Bracer and then an Amulet of the Exile and then Plated Greaves, which is a little bit odd. So real quick, I want to tell you guys something. After watching this game, I've realized, and by the way, keep an eye on the GPM wise. Flubbens is picking up pretty decently. He's ahead of one of theirs, almost two of their members. He's keeping up quite decently. But I also want to mention, if you pay attention to Flubbens, that there are times when he should be farming that he's wasting a little bit of time. Now that waste of a little bit of time is only a little bit of time. It's nothing major, okay? So I don't want to go ahead and harp on Flubbens and say that he's playing poorly by wasting his time. He's not, okay? You need to get out. Get out, because Armadon's gonna spine, and you're dead. He's by no means like wasting so much time doing nothing, okay? Just that if you'll pay attention, there are little bits here and there, like he stalled there for a second. The seconds add up over time, where you should be, if you're not team fighting, if you're not helping push, if you're not defending a push, if you're not doing XYZ, you should be farming. That's what you do as a carry. That's what carries do. And also I want to mention that Valkyrie is like the only player throughout the entire game, really. Actually, I don't even want to say that. Valkyrie as well. None of the players in this game buy TPs, really. TPs are so valuable. There is absolutely no excuse for not having a TP. There's no, well, I need this item. Well, no. It delays your item 135 gold. There is no reason for not having a TP, okay? Not a single reason. Actually, it would be nice to have Day Soul to kill these stack ones, but there's no reason. This Martyr, I don't know what he does. He walks right in here and dies for no reason. Even Arachna alone could have solo killed him, so I'm not sure what he's doing this for. But whatever. Hag, Nullstone is what he's building towards with the Sustainer. That's totally fine. You know, we got the Mage Main Ultimate. We also have Solstice's stun. It's totally okay. I don't by any means hate it. She being Arachna is building towards a Savage Mace. That should not be your first item on any hero, really. There's almost no reason to get a Savage Mace first. This is a free tower for them. There's nothing to defend this. Let's see, item-wise, Ra's got his helm, Armadon's got his helm, and vestments. Good job on Armadon. Ra should have bought vestments and worked towards the Shaman's Headdress like Armadon does, but he doesn't. I don't know why he gets this trinket if he's never planning on building a Shaman's Headdress. Very odd indeed. Quite the unusual person. Or should have been stupid. Quite the stupid person. There's no reason to do that. Why would you start with that item if you weren't gonna, you know what I mean? Like, just think a little bit. But, you know, it's whatever. And Rampage builds pretty weird too, actually. He gets like gets a Firebrand, but doesn't complete his Frostburn until later on, and it's just odd. This is where you should back out. You gotta kill. This is a lost fight. You need to leave here. Now, unfortunately, you don't. You stay and fight this. You should leave. Even without that Arachna ultimate, it would have been death for you. And now she's dead too because she aggressively jumped in instead of using it for defensive. You should have left. There's no reason to fight that. You gotta kill, back off. You were outnumbered to begin with, so there was no reason to do that. Now, what I want to mention is that the only reason, or actually, I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert real quick. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, skip ahead 10 seconds. Legion wins. Legion wins the game. Okay. The only reason they win is because the Hellbourne makes so many mistakes. At this point, you guys are so far behind, there is absolutely no excuse for winning. Well, no excuse for the Hellbourne, I guess. There's no reason why you should win this game. There is not a single reason. You guys are under-leveled. If you look, you're under-leveled. You're under-farmed. You still have 3 people below 200 and 1 barely above. You're under-farmed, under-leveled. under everything, okay? You're so far behind. Look at there, the 450 GPM on Arachna. You're the closest with 325. Like, there's no reason why you should have ever won this game, okay? Not a chance. Now, thankfully, the hellbourne team is not the best, and they make a number of mistakes, okay? That's what I will say. And, you know, this being one of them right here, he's all by himself in the Elysian jungle. Like, why would he do that? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to. I think he actually does die in this part, too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he dies right here. But you lose Valkyrie in the process. So, you know, I mean, that's not a good trade. Ra for Valkyrie, not a good trade. Yeah, so, no. Not a good trade. Hag, I believe, just wasted her ultimate, because I heard the sound. I think that was her ultimate. These are fights you don't really want. You're like, this is where you should have backed off. You got one, you lost one, you should have backed off. You didn't back off, though. You being the whole team, I'm not trying to single anybody out, you know. The whole team is making this mistake, right? You guys are continuing to fight this, which you shouldn't be. You're in enemy territory now, you're sticking around, you're all way too low, you're going to pay for it dearly. And actually, you're probably going to die here too as well, Flubbens. Yeah, you're dead. Oh, actually, no, you're gonna get away because he stopped chasing, which really there's no reason why he should have. But he built steam boots instead of ghost marchers. Very stupid on. You should have turned around and stunned her. Oh, you don't have the mana for it? Okay, never mind. I stand corrected. No mana, so I'm not gonna harp on you for that. He should get Ghost Marchers. There's no reason to not get Ghost Marchers on Rampage. They give you more damage because the more move speed you have, the more damage you have. That's how Rampage works. So there's no reason to not to. You appear to be getting a Frostburn or a Firebrand, sorry. Which you actually don't build into a Frostburn. You build into a Searing Light. But I think that's the name of it. That's totally fine. That's totally okay. That's a great item to have. She builds 3 Soul Scream Rings, which I don't agree with. 2 is usually the limit where you stop and then you start working on big items. Any more than that, you're kind of investing too much into it. They're just kind of like padding until you can get the big items. They're not really an item you want to hold on to. So she makes few mistakes there. Magebane still doesn't have his Helm of the Black Legions. We're at 17 minutes. He should have that. I love the Helm on him. Helm's a good item to have on Magebane. It's just that he doesn't have it. Ra walks into an arrow there for no reason, and it appears that we're committing to a fight we don't need to commit to again. So Magebane's dead, and we're going to fight this now. Now, you're not necessarily wrong for fighting it, just that usually, not always, there are some exceptions. Usually when you lose a hero at the very beginning of the fight, so it's, you know, you're already down a hero. Usually not a good idea to keep going. Now, right here, I want to mention that you guys should not have kept chasing. You should not have kept chasing. You should have stopped right here. You should have given up and turned around. You shouldn't have chased Ra into here. Now, the reason you win this fight right here is because Hag leaves full HP and just AFKs right here for a few minutes. And I don't understand why. If she had been there to fight that, there's no reason why you guys should have won that fight. Not a single reason. So thankfully Hag AFKs here and doesn't know what she should be doing. I'm not sure why she does. I'm assuming it's something in real life, but she does. So that's luckily for you guys. You shouldn't have gone that far. You shouldn't have done that. You got lucky. So this is an exception of where you're doing the wrong thing and it works out, but that doesn't make you right for doing it. It's one of those exceptions. It's one of those things. So again, items on Ravner, Plated Greaves. We now have these weird items. I'm not even going to comment on his items because they make absolutely no sense. Ravner, if you ever watch this, these are not items you should get. You shouldn't get this. You should have had, Ghost Marchers instead, maybe a Frostburn instead of these. These are all wrong items. Go look up some guides or something. This isn't right, okay? Martyr, same thing. You build some pretty weird items, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Armadon, Shield Breaker after your Shaman's Headdress. No. There's no reason to. This team isn't very tanky, so you don't really have any particular reason for doing that. Some people would argue that, maybe, your Armadon are a good carry, blah, blah, blah. There's no need to. Now, right here, actually, this is a good example of a fight you should have won much more commandingly if you weren't already so far behind. So you actually do, tie this fight. You lose 3 for 3, I believe. So you got Arachne over there, they took Valkyrie. You're going to get Rampage here, and then I believe Armadon gets away. Yes, he does. And you should have won that fight more commandingly if your team wasn't already so underleveled, okay? But at this point, you should back off because he's too fast. Armadon, you know, you can spam those spines and just keep going. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's Armadon. So you should have won that fight more commandingly. That was a 5v3. But the reason you, well, technically a 5v4, but you killed Ra before the fight even happened, really. So the reason you didn't win more commandingly is because of the fact that you're under-leveled and under-farmed and under everything. Not necessarily you, Flubbens, but as a team. Searing Light? Yeah, Searing Light. I got the name right. Cool. And you should have won it better, is all I'm going to say. Obviously you didn't, but it's fine. You didn't lose the fight by any means, so it's just you lost the fight considering what you should have won. You know what I mean? Like, what you should have gotten, you didn't. So in that case, in that sense, you've lost. But I'm right here, Ra running in solo again. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing because you can see all four of you right there. I don't really get it. He doesn't have a ward here, so he actually kind of lucked out a little bit by running back at about the right time. So he didn't see you coming, so... But, I mean, it is what it is. Back to Armadon's items. So, Rampage, he's way out of position again. I'm not sure why. Like, this whole team, the whole Hellbourne team, is so far out of position. Like, so much. I don't get it. Yep, nice job. You started to walk around to block him. That's very good. I'm assuming that's why you were walking around, by the way. You should always, you know, once you stun him, you got to try and block him off, too, because once the stun wears off, you want to try and essentially extend your stun by blocking him. It really immobilizes him more. So back to Armadon's items. This should have been like a Demonic Breastplate or a Behemoth's Heart or maybe even a Barbed Armor or a number of other things, but not a Shield Breaker. There's no need. Your team isn't very tanky. We finally got the Helm finished here. We got a Shield Breaker on you. I love that considering how tanky the Hellbourne team is. I like it. I like it a lot. And actually Valkyrie builds one too. Arachna way out of position. She gets caught here. Thankfully, Martyr saves him or he would have died. But yeah, so you guys do get one for free. And this is where you back off. There's no reason to keep fighting. No reason. You got one, back off, alright? Just because you shouldn't ever try and push your advantage too far. If you do that, you tend to cost yourself more in the long run, and it's not worth it. Now, that's not to say that you get one hero and back off in every team fight, okay? You just need to pick your engagements wisely. That wasn't a wise engagement. So, if it was on a tower and blah, 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 you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain what a wise engagement would be, but, I mean, you kind of figure it out by playing. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So back to Rampage up here again. His items, he gets a Shield Breaker and Ice Brand, so very stupid on his part. Not to mention, this team doesn't even need Shield Breakers, so I'm not sure why they're building them. No Shield Breaker necessary. So he gets this and then completes his Frostburn. Makes no sense. So Rampage, a little bit stupid getting 2 attack modifiers, man. Go watch my attack modifiers video. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's pretty obvious that you can't use them both at the same time. There's really no exception to getting 2, and there's no reason to get a Shield Breaker to begin with, so... Blink out before you can ult, pretty poor on your fault. Had you ulted, you would have killed him there. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Let's see, Arachna's items. I don't think I'm going to even comment on hers. Her item seems a little bit weird. She, like, sacrifices all survivability and goes purely for damage items, which is unintelligent. But then again, she fast-picked Arachna and started with boots, so I already think she's unintelligent. What I want to mention, everybody in the game, their creep score is very low. Everybody in the game. Okay, you included, Flubbens. Even though you have the highest, yours is also low. You're at 24 minutes now. Every 20 minutes, you want to try and aim for, and you get caught out here because your team didn't really provide the support by killing the spider and supporting you, which they should. And I actually noticed in a number of team fights, your team doesn't support you the way they should. So, you kind of got unlucky here, but, I mean, you got lucky that the Hellbourne team doesn't really know what they're doing. So, completely missed tag ultimate. It's always nice. At this point, the Hellbourne team needs to back off. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the reason. This right here is the reason they lose this game. I think this is the changing point. This is the turning point. Okay, so they keep fighting this. They keep trying to push this tower when they have no reason to. They got Martyr, which they shouldn't have. He was way out of position. They keep trying to push this tower, though. They keep trying. There's no reason to. They should do one of two things. Either A, go push bot, which is the most logical choice, or top, I guess. Although bot would make more sense. Or go Kongor. So, as we'll note, again, Hag is just walking away, full health, and all that stuff. Now, I'm not sure if she's walking away because she has another thing to do in real life, or if she knows that she shouldn't keep trying to push this. So now, 4 out of 5 of you are back up. They're still not going to go B. They're still going to keep trying here. They make a huge mistake by staying around here. I don't understand this. I really don't. They, like, start to go back, but not all of them, and then they, like, turn around and recommit. So just wait. Here we go. You're gonna see in a minute here. He's gonna try and kill this Magebane by himself on a tower when Magebane's only a level behind him. Oh no, sorry, it's not by himself. Arachno does turn around to help, but he's still going. I don't understand this. Like, this is unintelligent. You know what I mean? So this is the start of the end, I should say. This is the little group fight, and here Ra's coming back to help too. See what I mean? Like, one of them decides they want to fight, and then like all of them turn around and start to commit. So Ra actually gets lucky that you guys walk away before you see him, because otherwise you would have killed him. So you get a kill on Arachna, you're gonna get a kill on Rampage, you're gonna get the kill on Ra, you're gonna get the kill on Armadon, who comes to help. It's such a foolish fight for the hellbourne team. They very much so overcommit here. Armadon comes in, he's doing his Armadon thing, then he turns around to try and fight back, and then he dies, and then Hag is also here to die as well. I don't understand this team fight, okay? So I really don't understand it. It looked to me like Hag was AFK there, by the way, so again, she's like AFK, I'm not sure what she's doing. Ra here dies, he comes back and dies. I don't understand this. You get a free genocide for no reason, and this is the fight that turns it around, okay? This is the fight that cost the hellbourne team the game. So now they lose. This is what I'm going to say. Spoiler alert again, they lose the game, okay? And I'm almost positive it's 100% because of this fight. So no reason to take that raw damage. You should have moved out of the side there, Magebane. But so back to... This is the point where you come back, okay? So I'm sure that most people who've watched this have noticed that the levels have started to turn around. Now the Elysian side is in command, and here, see, more free kills. They basically lose 2 free team fights, so they give you that. They give you that free whole genocide, then she comes out, dies again, and it's just not, I don't understand. I mean, Martyr's gonna die because, well, he's Martyr. I've been telling you all game he's not very good. But, I mean, this is where you guys should back off, okay? And you guys do it, unlike the hellbourne team who chose not to. This is where you guys should back off, and there you go, you back off. See how easy it is? You don't overcommit. The hellbourne team did, and that's what cost them this game. But now back to the creep score. You generally want to have at least 20 every 100 minutes. This is a very poor board placement, by the way. There's no reason to put that here. That should not be showing up. I'm sorry. I thought my notifications shouldn't be going. So the creep score, you usually want to have at least 20 every 100 minutes. At least 100 every 20 minutes. Sorry. At least 100 every 20 minutes, especially for the first 20 minutes, and then after that, it should be increasing. You should be getting more than 100 every 20 minutes, okay? Maybe 120, 150, you know, etc., etc. So, but at the very least, bare minimum, you should be having at least 20 every 100 minutes. And if you'll watch most of my games, I make that a goal in my in my games, that I try and get at least, if I'm playing a carry, that is, that I try and get at least 100 every 20 minutes. Now, not only are you not at 100, but also you have to keep in mind that yours are jungle creep kills, so they're not worth as much, okay? Now, what I will say is smart about you, and this is one of the parts where your team doesn't back you up, you actually notice that they're doing Kongor, okay? You don't have any wards, but you very intelligently notice the Kongor that is happening. Now, your team doesn't back you up in time, you take a lot of damage, and you end up dying here for really no reason. Well, I don't want to say no reason. You die here for, you know, this team fight should have been much more unanimously won. It should have been like 4-0 or something, you know, which it wasn't. But your team should have been there to back you up on that. Now, I don't want to tell you that you should be waiting just because your team won't back you up, because you can't give them a free Kongor. But I don't necessarily want to say, and again, your team overcommits here, they should have turned around. Now, Martyr's going to die to these creeps if he's not careful. Or, yeah, Ravener's screwed. But your team needs to be there to back you up more. And if they're not, I don't want to tell you that you shouldn't initiate just because your team's not backing you up, because that's not a good rule to follow. You shouldn't be doing bad things just because your team's bad. It's just that at that point, you know, I mean, you're almost... Well, you know what? Never mind. Keep doing the good. Keep doing the right thing. You were right to initiate that. It was your team's fault. It's just that they needed to be there to back you up on that. All right. Let's do a quick run through of items. You appear to be building a Savage Mace. Totally fine. I think you may or may not have wanted... No, never mind. I love your build, actually. I love your build this game. Okay, so she's building a charged hammer. That is the stupidest thing she could have ever done. They're going to get a free Convor kill here. No wards, and you guys couldn't have stopped it anyways. You were too far away. This team really needs to learn how to ward, specifically Martyr. He builds weird items, doesn't ward, doesn't do his job. I don't particularly understand him. Ravener actually picks up a few wards, which is nice, considering he's being so useless, but he puts them in weird locations and isn't very useful with them, so... But, okay, so Charged Hammer. You should never, ever, ever, and this applies to anybody, never build a Charged Hammer on any hero with a few exceptions of Draconis, it's okay, and maybe Forsaken. There's no reason to get it, because it's so expensive. If you look, it's 5,400, and you can get a Savage Mace for the same price, or a Wingbow for only a little bit more, or a Mop, or, you know, anything, Geometer's Bane, or a number of other things for less or the same price, or only slightly more. Like, it is so expensive, and it doesn't provide what it needs to do. Okay, and the reason for that is because the magic damage that it does, which is the main ability of the item, is essentially nothing when it gets to late game, because everybody's magic armor is you know, built up from their levels, as well as usually you get Mystic Vestments or something at some point. And it's just, you know, it ends up being worthless, absolutely nothing. So she just completely throws away the token. There's no reason to do that, but hey, that's this bad Arachna for you. What you gonna do? I love the Shield Breaker, absolutely love it. And Arachna gets, Valkyrie gets a Shield Breaker too. I love that too. I love Shield Breaker for the Legion. You should get out here. You're dead now. Yeah, and now you're gonna. Well, you guys, at the moment, I would say. I don't know if you've won or lost the team fight, but you certainly haven't, you know, won it unanimously. So your GPM, quite decently now, 500, but that's not because of your farm, which your farm should be much higher than this. We're now at 32 minutes, you still only have 62. So all these little times where you're not farming, I mean, this is a really kill-heavy game, like, really kill-heavy. Now, Martyr actually gets away. Oh, yeah, and Hag gets hit by a 5-second, quite unfortunate. Oh, sorry, Martyr doesn't get away, he dives too. And she needs to leap now, because she can't fight that. She's dead. Alright. Yep, here she goes. She leaps, but it's too late. She's dead. And, yeah, dead. Can't do that with Armadon. You have to leap earlier. Or blink earlier, or whatever, earlier. So, yeah. He is quite beastly, actually. Armadon is by far the best member of this hellbourne team, actually, which is kind of ironic, because he's brown. But, it's very true. He's by far the best, although I still don't like the Shield Breaker on him. Kind of a stupid item. But so anyways, let's see. Wingbow on Magebane, it's fine. Martyr actually builds a Frostwolf skull here in a little bit, which makes no sense because of the fact that he's not a carry, he's a support hero. So I don't understand him in the slightest bit, but hey, what you gonna do, I guess. That's solo queue for you. Very poor ward placement again by Pink. Like, you can't see anything with this ward. You get, like, this little, like, what is this? It doesn't give you anything, you know what I mean? And actually, if you guys had wards, like, here and maybe up here or something, you would be able to have gotten a free kill on Arachna there. But no wards, no free kills. So that's how it works. And, let's see. Your GPM's dropping off a little bit because you're not getting kills. Wasting a few seconds here and there. Oops, team fight. And... no, never mind, they're going to back off, which is smart. They shouldn't fight that. Although at this point, they've lost the game, really. That team fight, it's like, it screwed them over entirely. They've lost the game. And it looks like they're about to run in 3v4, which is not smart either. Yeah. So their GPMs are all still really high, but the problem is that the Legion team has way better late game because of this Magebane. Magebane, and debatably Valkyrie too, although Valkyrie in this game doesn't really do anything. And if you look, here's the Ice Brand is part of the Frostwolf skull, which makes no sense. But so at this point, they've lost the game. They really have. I mean, this Arachna is their carry, and she's bad. She's terribly. She's A, not, you know, playing the game correctly. Not playing the game correctly, but also building incorrectly and positioning incorrectly. Like right there, she's right in the middle of the fight. She shouldn't be there. She's just bad. She's just all around bad. Okay, so that was a very odd blink that then you jumped and then walked back, so that doesn't make any sense. Harkens on Hag when you don't have any damage makes absolutely no sense. Let's see, 180 damage. That makes no sense. That should not be an item you build on Hag ever, really, but maybe late game after you have a whole bunch of damage. So it looks like I'm... Oh, ultimate from Martyr? No. Okay. Oh, it's on cooldown. Okay. So Armadon here, owning the rest of your team, because that's what he does. You're going to need to leave now. Yeah. So Armadon just basically killing 4 of you. Oh, sorry, 3. He only got 3 of the kills. Armadon is by far the sole reason this team is doing so decent. But it really doesn't matter at this point because they've lost. Oh, sorry, I was fixing the cord. Okay, so Harkens makes no sense. Don't ever get Harkens as your first major item. You know, I mean, she got an all-stone, but still, sorry, as your second major item. You know, you need damage for Harkens to make any sense, and the enemy team needs to have a whole bunch of physical armor for it to make sense, right? He wasn't last hitting there, just auto-attacking, pretty poor. Let's see, your items, you're going to get a Behemoth's Heart. Great, I love it, because at this point you need survivability. That is amazing. I love that choice in items, Flubbens. Great job. So my major concerns so far with Flubbens, with your play, are just mostly your creep score, very low considering, you know, where you should be, although the whole game is low, so it won't make a huge difference, just that you could be winning the game much more unanimously, or, I don't know the word, whatever, much more dominatingly if you had a higher creep score. You'd have your items sooner, you'd be getting more kills, you know, X, Y, Z, you know, blah, 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 blah. So if your creep score was higher, you'd have more. And wards, I'm not saying you should be the one that does them, but Martyr should, but, you know, Martyr's an idiot, so... I mean, Ravener's buying them. At this point, I would just say, Ravener, give me the items, I'll go buy them. Magebane, way out of position, you should not be there, Magebane. Magebane should have gotten a shrunken head, because he needs to, like, jump in like that. And that Ross seems to be beating him, like, senseless. That Ross seems to be hurting him quite significantly. He was way out of position there to begin with, but even if he wasn't, that was just... He needs a shrunken head. He really does. This Armadon... Are they really going to dive that? Oh. Okay. So this is where you should come in from behind and kill some people. Right about now. Here we are. Yes. Killing Arachna. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. I love that. Very good job. That was perfect. Very good positioning from you on the map here. Yeah, you actually shouldn't have been here, but since they went straight, they got tunnel visioned on her. That worked out quite good. Actually, Armadon dove here very unnecessarily, and actually you didn't help, I'm assuming because you didn't want to steal the kill, because your Q was off a cooldown, so you could have actually, you know, Q'd him, but I'm assuming that's because you didn't want to steal the kill. That's fine, but in all honesty, both of you need kills, so there's really no reason to, like, hold yourself back like that. You know, the off chance that she dies is worth... I mean, I don't know. I know in lower leagues people get really pissed off when you steal kills, you know. I mean, I do to an extent if somebody does it, like, over and over and over and over and over again, but, I mean, you know, there's really no reason why you shouldn't have helped there. Again, Ravener's item makes absolutely no sense. He's working towards a sheep stick now. Makes no sense, man. I don't get you. You're a strength hero. I don't know why you're, like, building all these intel items, but whatever. It's okay. It doesn't really make a huge difference. This is not something you should be pushing. Thankfully, the enemy team is so far out of position, like, and they don't have any teleports, because otherwise you shouldn't be here. This is not something you should be pushing. You could actually... Well, no, you're not going to die, I don't think. Well, actually you are, but I mean, I meant from the rampage. And see, this is what I mean. Now the whole team's here. Now you're, like, this isn't... You shouldn't have been there. And thankfully the enemy team didn't have teleports, or you probably all would have died. But, you know, I mean, I guess it is what it is. You now have enough for that axe. You should get the axe of the Malphite instead of the Beast Heart. You should replace it and put the Beast Heart in your stash, because the axe of the Malphite actually gives you more health than the Beast Heart does from the strength that it gives you. Assuming... No, it does. So this is where you should trade. I'm not sure if you're going to do that when you respawn or not, but just FYI, it's, you know, those are some of the little things that improve play, you know. And let's see, item-wise, Ra getting a second heart, fine, I guess, although he sold that trinket. He never even built those shaman items. I don't get this guy, I really don't. Armadon finally got that breastplate, nice job, and a Behemoth's Heart as well. I love the Armadon build. Armadon's great, except for that shield breaker. Magebane, fine. I think he needs a Shrunken, but other than that, fine. I hate Ravener's build. I very much so dislike Martyr's build. I don't understand it. Yeah, you can't fight people head-on without mana armored on, but okay. And, yeah, the charged hammer thing makes no sense to me still, so I don't know what Valkyrie's doing. The game's about to end here. We all know the Legion is going to win at this point. For future reference, at this point in the game, when you're getting gold very fast because of the number of team fights you're going to and things of that nature, you should just buy a bunch of wards. Pretty much no matter who you are, really. Unless you're really close to like your next item, you should just buy a bunch of wards. And I'm saying this specifically to Flubbens because he's doing quite well, but this applies to anybody. At this point, really wards are so valuable, really, because if you get, one or two of your players get picked off, and then it's suddenly a 4v5 or 3v5 or whatever, you can lose the game pretty easily. Now, actually, you don't have wards on the Kongor Pit, so that's what I want to say first of all. You don't have any wards on the Kongor Pit, which you should have, but you guys actually notice that they're doing Kongor. I'm assuming because of your map awareness, and you realize that 5 of them are missing, but which is good. That's the second time in this game Flubbens has noticed that, actually. And Hag apparently doesn't realize that you can't attack Kongor from outside the pit. It gives you a permanently missing thing like that. You can't do it. So this is the end of the game. You get like 4 or 5 kills here, and then you just end it. So I think I'll probably just speed up. Can I speed up the speed here? Can I do that? I think I can. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and speed it up a little bit. The game's over. So I mean, I would normally, watch it, but I mean, the game's over at this point. You got 2 kills there. These guys are still out of position, so you're gonna get a couple more right here. Mage Bane looks like he's about to die, but it really doesn't matter because Mage Bane has the token. So he wants them to tank him, but he wants them to focus in and kill him. That's his job. At this point, it doesn't matter. The game's over. You're not even like fighting as a team anymore. You guys are just like all out raping their base, which is fine. I mean, look at this. Now your GPMs are higher than theirs, pretty much. That's how you know. Like, I mean, look at the experience. The goal is still about even, but the experience is clearly in your favor. They threw the game very, very significantly, and I don't particularly understand why they did that. That one team fight in the middle, I think, is really what did it. They lost. They died like 6 or 7 times or something. So unnecessary. Maybe that's just me. Well, no, actually, no, it's not just me. Right here, Rampage drags you in. Pretty unfortunate. I hate Rampage. I really do. But, it is what it is, I guess. Martyr, you're dead now. You got the slow on you. Ravener's just going to leave. And then you guys are going to come back once you respawn. At this point, by the way, you should just buy back. The game's over. Like, you actually do get Rift Shards instead. You actually asked me to get if you should get Rift Shards. I actually watched the last part of this game, and he asked me, and I said Rift Shards are fine instead of a Shrunken at this point. Because at this point, it is true. You don't need the Shrunken anymore. It's just, you're so tanky, so, you know what I mean? So, you should have just bought back. You should have just bought back and just went and ended it, really. There's no reason not to, because you're so far ahead and so much stronger than there that really you don't need that Rift Shards to make it. To win the game, you can do it without it. So, here's Mage Bane beating on this Armadon, he's dead. You got your Rift Shard, you can come out, kill everybody, and then that's game over, really. You shouldn't have won this game. That's what I will say, is that you shouldn't have won this game in the slightest. And now it looks like Martyr's building a Behemoth's Heart, so yeah, I hate him. I hate this Martyr. I don't understand this guy. You shouldn't have won this game, that's what I will say. There's no reason why you should have won this game. You guys were so far behind. Had they not messed up, you wouldn't have won the game. But, just the 1400s. People make mistakes constantly, so, it happens, I guess. I would say don't plan for mistakes to be made in future games, you know what I mean? But it happens. Yeah, this is over. They can't even defend this. You guys could actually just go in with all 5 of you and win the team fight. I mean, that Arachne is so squishy. As long as you focus her, you could win the team fight, really. You don't even need to, here you guys are, pushing down side lanes and stuff. You don't even really need to do that. You have 2 racks, as well as the fact that you're ahead in kills and such, so. But hey, whatever makes you guys feel safe, I guess, you know what I mean? It's better to be safe than sorry, I always say, so. If you want to go push the lane instead, that's fine. You could have just broken the base, though, I think. Especially since, point out that Haggles. But, yeah, this is over. Here we go. There's 1 down. There's 2 down. Ramadan's about to die too. Ra over here, he'll die as well. He's about to run right back into you guys, so I'm not sure what he's doing. He's dead. He's got his ultimate, but it's not going to matter. Yeah, he's dead. That's it. Genocide here in a sec. Arachna's going to come out and try and 1v5 because she's that good. And then it's over. So, I'll just recap the stats. The only things you really need to focus on. Your build was fine. At some point, a Shrunken Head may have been useful before you had the Behemoth Heart, perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of up for debate whether or not you should have got it. I'm fine with getting it, fine with you not getting it either way. Other than that, let's go ahead and check the stats. Other than that, your creep score needs work, so focus on that, I would say. Your denies are fine because you jungled, so you wouldn't need to worry about your denies. Kills are fine. Your teammates, you need to work on getting better teammates. Go get better teammates, I guess. I don't know. These guys were pretty bad. That Martyr and Ravener pretty much almost cost you the game. But, I apologize. Sorry about that, I had to yawn. Other than that, though, your creep score is really what does it. APM is kind of low, but APM is really only like a... It doesn't necessarily mean you're not doing what you should be doing, is all I want to say. It's just, it means your reaction time's probably slightly slower, I guess. So maybe, focus on getting your hands... I don't know, you know what I mean? And, look for those times where you should be farming when you're doing nothing, you know what I mean? And carry a TP, so that way you can farm and just teleport to team fights, so you don't have to actually be there. If you had a TP, you would have been farming so much more, like TP, 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 TP. I can't say it enough. Get a teleport, all right, at all times, past like 10, 15 minutes, depending on how bad you're losing, you know what I mean? Like, you should have a TP, okay? And that applies for everybody, really. There's no excuse, so... Get a TP. Your build was fine. Your team fighting was fine. There were a couple times where you slightly overcommitted only because your team didn't follow you in, so it's not your fault that you were overcommitting. And then there were a couple times where your team in general just overcommitted, like at that fight that where you chased Ra and Hag didn't come help. If Hag had come help, if she hadn't AFK'd, you probably would have won the game or lost the game. Sorry, or at the very least lost that team fight. But yeah, she didn't. So you got lucky there. Yeah, it wasn't skill, it was luck. So, pay attention to overcommitting. Pay attention to how many people are alive at times so you don't overcommit. Pay attention to where your team is so you don't, go in with no backup. Like that Congo pit thing, took a significant chunk of damage before you actually, before your team showed up, which isn't your fault. You went in at the right time. Your team should have come in as well. But, again, it's a team game, so you have to work together. Other than that, though, you did pretty good. You did quite good, especially for somebody in the 1400s. Quite good indeed. Very good, actually. But yeah, work on the creep score. It's a little bit low, man. 20 every 100. That should be your first... 100 every 20. Damn it, I keep mixing that up. 100 every 20. That should be your goal for starting, right? That's your goal, all right? That'll increase your farm. And other than that, though, very good job, man. So announcements real quick. Replay analysis. I'll be doing more of these more frequently, hopefully. Hopefully I can get a game guide out in the near future. I have a couple more tips videos I want to do too before I run out of ideas with that, and then I'll start doing specific tips, like specific to heroes. And patch notes, if they patch ever again. They have been patching lately, I don't know what to tell you guys. Other than that, I've been thinking about posting some more StarCraft 2 on the channel too. I don't know. Somebody, let me know how you guys feel about that, guys. Because I've been playing more StarCraft 2 lately. Do you guys want me to post it if I play it or not? Or what's the deal? You know what I mean? So, other than that, though, I think that's all I wanted to cover. So, I will talk to you guys later, alright? GG, well played. Elfis out.